Hi Aquarius, this is your horoscope for May 2020. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you. On the 3rd of May and on the 20th of May, there's a Venus and Neptune square. So Venus is at odds with its higher octave, Neptune. Venus is the personal planet of love and beauty, and that sits in your 5th house of love, romance, and relationships. And it's not so good with Neptune in the 2nd house of money for you guys, Aquarius. So it's either love or money for you, and it's like, I feel conflicted, especially on those days, the 3rd and 20th. Use it to think about how can I realize my hopes and dreams when it comes to money, or how can I realize my hopes and dreams when it comes to relationships. And make sure you do that because Venus goes retrograde on the 13th this month. So make sure you do that at the beginning of the month if you're romantically inclined or you want to be with someone. On the 7th of May, Aquarius, there's a full moon in Scorpio, and that happens for you guys in your 10th house of career and work. Now, the full moon is when the moon is totally lit up and it lets go of its energy, Scorpio in this case, which allows you to uncover hidden secrets in your working life. That gives you power, and you can use that to your advantage. On the 11th of May, Saturn, the planet of the head teacher, the disciplinarian, the authoritarian kind of regime, or your conscience, or Saturn return is when the planet comes back and it says, are you on track with your life purpose? It's really someone who's strict but who's looking out for you. And that is going retrograde until the end of September in your 1st house of self. I'm just going to double check because Saturn is in Aquarius. Yeah, in March 2020, it was in Capricorn. It's now moved into your sign Aquarius in April, and now we're here in May on the 11th, and Saturn is in your 1st house of self. So it's that inner certainty, the inner platform you now have, and it's aligned with you because it's an Aquarius. So out of all of the signs, you're the one who has the best platform. While everyone platform is like a high-rise or a duplex, you've got the Burj Khalifa. And Mars is also in your 1st house, so what am I going to become? The hopes and dreams, money, career, love, what am I going to become? That comes from within, not from without. So it's an inner fire that starts burning. On the 12th of May, Mercury, the communication planet, that moves into Gemini. I'm doing months again. Bear with me. Days. Okay. On the 12th of May, Mercury goes into Gemini and it sits in your 5th house of romance and relationship. So again, it urges you to realize your hopes and dreams when it comes to your love life and your career and your financial situation and the way you love your life. But then remember, Venus goes retrograde on the 13th, and that is not a good time to start new relationships, new businesses. It's dangerous. Venus retrograde doesn't happen every year, and when it happens, if you can possibly avoid those things, do. If you can reschedule, great. If you're getting married during that time, fine, because you planned it ahead of time, you're just getting married. So, but anything totally new is kind of off limits. Yeah. Mercury goes into Cancer on the 29th, and then it goes into your 6th house of work. So sliding on into June, you're going to be focused about your career and work. On the 13th of May, we've got Mars going into Pisces. Mars despises going into Pisces, okay? Mars is the soldier. It's masculinity. It's lifting weights at the gym, getting sleeve tattoos on your arm, being built. And it rules Aries, the soldier sign, the sign of let's do this, let's make things great. And let's do that independently. Only I can do it. I. And that is in Pisces instead. So it has to think about spirituality and spiritual growth. And it's in your second house of money, and Neptune sits there as well. So it's think about what dreams you have really when it comes to transforming your financial situation, and make use of that in May. I love May. I personally love May because it's the sign of Taurus really. And Taurus is an earth sign. I'm a Virgo. And it's just, you're able to build. Obviously not during Venus retrograde, so avoid that. And get as much in before the 13th of May as possible. Venus does go retrograde, like I said, also on the 13th, and it stays in retrograde until the 25th of June. So avoid any new lovers buying houses if you can possibly avoid it. If you can't avoid it, then be on guard. On guard, yeah. Be on your guard. From the 14th of May until the 12th until September 12th, Jupiter, the lucky planet, that goes retrograde as well until September. And that is in your 12th house of spirituality. So the lucky planet is next to Pluto, also in your 12th house of spiritual strength. And you're able to transform yourself and have a whole new way of looking at your working life that's already in place, and to transform that, also to transform yourself spiritually and to work on your spiritual development, to be psychic, to be in love with spirit, nature. So the good luck comes from within. Luckily, you have Saturn retrograde as well, so you have a nice platform, a nice certainty on which you can operate. I like walking in nature, that's a certainty. I do it, luck happens. I transform as a person because I meet someone who's a music producer and I happen to be a singer, so I meet them and life changed. Boom. So that's really positive for you until September. It's great. On May 17th, Jupiter, the lucky planet, trines the Sun. So it forms a harmonious relationship with the Sun in Taurus. One of the luckiest day of the month, if not the year, to have that kind of experience that I just talked about. Life transforming stuff. On the 22nd of May, and this energy lasts until the end of the month, we have a new moon in Gemini, and that happens in your 5th house, love, romance, relationship. So you have to be careful, okay, because you're going to have a natural drive towards being loving and nurturing and starting new things and new opportunities and checking out the latest gadgets and wanting to have new relationships in your life. When Venus is in retrograde, you have to be very, very careful, because what you seem to get is not what you're really getting. It's an illusion most of the time. Venus puts a veil over your eyes and you can't really make any sense of love. Love in itself is a state of, it's a stressful state in itself. You can't eat, you can't sleep. But then when it's wrong, for the wrong person, it just complicates it and makes it worse. And you have that urge to connect, so be careful and really just try and stick with what's already there and vet people, new people who you start to love and fall in love with. So instead of just buying it and then finding out she's got a whole nother family on the side, check it out first. So that's what I get for you in May Aquarius. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. I use your chart to read your personality. So I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, please order a chart rectification with me. That's where I work out your time of birth. Because the chart changes every 4 minutes. I can then see exactly who you are, answer any questions, life purpose, vocational aptitudes, where to live, love, money, any of that. But have a great month here. I hope this has given you something to go on. Hit subscribe and share the video. Have a great month, and I'll speak to you next month.